Now I'm going to talk about the intra-textual elements of design. These elements can include things like font, font type, size, and style. Style can include color or spacing. These are really intra-textual elements, really differ from the other elements of design in that it's really specific. It's not the elements of design that can be seen without reading. It spans. It does not span across the entire document. It's more within the line of the document. It's more within the line of the text in the document. First, we'll talk about the font. Font is an element that is very important in the intra-textual elements. As you can see here in this very modern document, the font is kept fairly consistent except for the beginnings of paragraphs where the words are actually capitalized. This kind of lets the reader know that, okay, we're moving on to a new section, there's a new idea going on, to just kind of act like a transition for the reader. Similarly, in this document from the 1200, you can see that the beginning of the document has a change in font, whereas the rest of the document is really kept fairly consistent font-wise to let the reader know that there really isn't much change going on. It just lets the reader kind of get the idea that the rest of the document can be grouped together. The next intertextual element will be size. Size is important to let the reader quickly know where the beginnings of paragraph starts, where the beginnings of new statement starts. In this document from the 1400s, we can see that the beginning of the document starts with a much larger size text than the rest of the document, whereas the rest of the document, the size is kept fairly consistent. Similarly here, you can see that the huge letters in the title, these act as size difference versus the actual textual elements, which the size is held fairly consistent. But if you look closely, you can see that the size is larger in some words. Well, this serves as like I mentioned before, this serves as a way to represent the beginning of a new idea or the beginning of a new statement in these old documents. Finally, we have style. Style can come in two parts. First is spacing. Spacing in this charter from Connecticut is held fairly consistent in the text. As you can see, all the spacing is pretty consistent, but if you notice up here where the index is, spacing is actually used to help organize things. You can see that all the spacing is indented so that they all start in the same line, and this helps the reader quickly identify, okay, chapter 1, where is it, chapter 2, where is it, chapter 3, where is it, and just gives you a really nice list. Without the spacing, it would just be more jumbled. It would require more effort on the reader's part to digest. Finally, we have the Scottish Parliament here, and this is a great use of color. As you can see, the color in the heading is different from the color in the body, and this kind of lets the reader know that, okay, this is what this document is, and then what this document contains is in a different element. So, in that aspect, the intertextual elements of design really allow the readers to distinguish things at a very specific level inside the lines of the text. All right.